Before we start, quick plug. Tap into my Patreon, where we break down the 10 archetypes of women, so you'll know exactly why different women react the way they do when you pull back. It'll make this hit way harder when you see which archetype you're dealing with. Alright people, let's run it again. Let's get evil. What women think day by day when you go silent. Day 1 to 2. She defaults to goodwill and curiosity. The mind asks basic questions. Is he okay? Maybe he's busy? And a soft check-in often appears because silence creates a small, manageable worry that nudges her toward contact, rather than away from it. This is the safest window to let silence work for positive tension. A few hours to a day or two keeps you from seeming avoidant, while still resetting any perception of low value she may have from you. Maybe you appeared too eager. A brief silence can reset that. Pretty simple. If you choose to re-engage here, keep it neutral and brief. Caught up with work. All good. Because a calm tone plus scarcity validates her self-esteem without turning her desperate, which typically increases her investment and reduces her defensiveness. Making a woman beg will validate you, but she'll resent the imbalance and seek manipulative strategies to counterbalance it. The key is proportionality. Short silences de-escalate, create a light itch, and can trigger chase that doesn't come with retaliation. Long silences at this stage are unnecessary and raise risk later. You only use long silence when she clearly has messed up, and it becomes more of a punishment to make her submit. Strategically, this window is best for minor recalibration, not punishment or pressure testing. Treat it as a pause that refreshes the frame, not a weapon. As a way to raise your value and have her not take you for granted. Now let's go on to day 3 to 5. At this point, the emotion flips from curiosity to unease. She starts replaying the last interaction and scanning for errors. Was it something I said? Did I miss a cue? As inward questioning grows with each day of no response, maybe you are losing interest. A woman will start to see you as more attractive while experiencing emotional pain. If she genuinely messed up and hasn't owned it, this is the point where silence forces accountability. She's primed to surface the issue and apologize if she did something wrong. If she's not performing good in bed, she might come back doing magic tricks in bed to win you back. Use days 3 to 5 only when there is a real grievance and you want corrective behavior before re-engagement. Otherwise, keep your silences shorter to avoid turning a tension reset into a trust erosion spiral. When you do re-emerge here, only after her contacting you, be explicit, cold, and direct. Name the issue, set new standards, and let her know you want things to be different. Most women at this point, if she recognizes her mistakes, will increase the respect they have for you, and the sex will be 10 times freakier. Trust me, I've seen this before. I'm sorry sex brings out the freak in them, extending into weeks, for context and caution. By days 6 to 7, frustration often erupts. Anxiety morphs into anger, accusations, or tit-for-tat games, and even your return can trigger retaliation, unless your silence was tied to a clear, serious boundary violation you intend to address. Never use long silence without explanation. She has to know the errors of her way, so that she can battle within herself, whether to stay silent and lose you, or speak up and win you back. Short-term silence, a few hours or even a day, doesn't require much explanation. Past a week, resentment and revenge motives can compound. She may become obsessed with evening the score, pursue validation elsewhere, or hold fire until you reopen, only to flip the script and punish you upon return. This is dark, unstable energy and a strong signal. The dynamic is unhealthy unless the silence is a principled response to disrespect, and you're moving toward decisive action rather than manipulation. Never appear manipulative, always appear self-righteous. When she feels that you're playing games, it's when your intentions get exposed. The game is lost. She'll counter you sooner or later. Always appear saint-like. Keep your hands clean. Conceal your intentions. Keep silences brief and purposeful. In toxic cycles of on-off and strategic ghosting, the clean solution is to exit rather than escalate the game. It's not worth the headache. Coping behind the scenes. Just like men, women will regulate or escape. Healthy. Talking to friends. Cry. Go on a walk. Staying busy. Unhealthy. Numbing. Distractions. Drug use. Sex. The point is, silence isn't easy when there are real feelings. It takes effort to hold the line, which is why people lean on distractions. The cycle warning. If you're stuck in an on-off loop powered by silence, that's not chemistry. It's actually instability. You may win a few silent battles here or there, but these become Pyrrhic victories. A Pyrrhic victory is a win that costs so much you lose the war. In the context of using silence as a tactic, you might get short-term compliance, apology, or chase, but at the expense that turn you bitter. This bitterness, left unchecked, has turned many men into sex and drug addicts. Women know how to identify bitter men. They know how to trigger you into losing control. Bitter men, right after lustful men, are women's easiest target to control. The fix isn't a better silence strategy. It's leaving the pattern altogether. When you use silence past a few days, that's your sign to exit. Don't waste your time. Playing with this type of fire can potentially make you attached to a woman who's secretly trying to counter you. Silence is a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. Let's summarize what we've just learned. Listen up. Use brief silence to reset neediness and let them come forward. Mechanism. Short, time-bound withdrawal exploits the Zeigarnik effect. Unfinished interactions stay mentally active, and mild uncertainty to raise salience and pursuit without triggering threat responses. It functions as an intermittent reward schedule. Minimal delay increases dopaminergic anticipation, prompting check-ins and re-engagement while preserving attachment security. Psychologically, hours to a day or two is sufficient. Beyond that, anxiety and suspicion escalate. Use longer silence, 3 to 5 days, only to address real mistakes, and follow up with boundaries. Mechanism. Extended silence induces cognitive dissonance and self-referential rumination. What did I do wrong? Increasing the likelihood of responsibility taking if there was a concrete transgression. The discomfort reframes contingencies. Access to you depends on her submission. This window is leverage, not lifestyle. When re-engaging her after silence, make sure state the boundary behavior link explicitly. For example, name the violation, specify the new standards, define consequences. Without that follow-up, the tactic degrades into ambiguity and control, breeding instability and future retaliation. If it's a recurring silence game, walk. You only need to do this every few months, as it's natural to have conflict. Mechanism. Recurrent silence and re-engagement creates an insecure loop. Anxiety, anger, relief, repeat. Training both parties into coercive cycles and retaliatory scripts. This may increase and spice of the sex in the short term, but over the long term, it corrodes both you and the woman psychologically. You want a woman who's naturally submissive. Use this strategy with extreme caution. Don't go too far, but don't be afraid to use it.